Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report on TV3. And we welcome Brent Duncan to tonight's program because right now we're in the midst of basketball, and this is a guy that knows all about basketball. 2 nights this week of sports. CHS is away, and then we're home.
Yeah, I mean, fairly light schedule, but we're also working on trying to reschedule things. But the girls play tomorrow at noon at Greenfield, and then the boys will play tomorrow night at 6 at Greenfield. And as I said, on our website and put out on Twitter account that we're limited to 40 tickets per team, so that's 2 tickets per player max, and they have to be a parent or a guardian, so no children allowed at the game. So it'll be a small crowd at both games tomorrow, and that's just the rules that Greenfield Central has to live with the rules they've given by their health department.
Yes.
So.
And Wednesday, Union County comes to Spartan Bowl.
Yeah, I'll play the Patriots on Wednesday, makeup game from opening night before Thanksgiving, but we'll wait and see what our caller is as of tomorrow or early Wednesday, whichever time it comes out. And if it's orange, we'll be back at the 1,300 capacity. If it's red, it'll be 2 tickets per participant, and we'll know that for sure here in the next 24 hours. So
it's quite a difference from the 5,000 we usually have for the opening game with Union County.
Yeah, it's I'm happy, and I think the kids are happy that they're playing. It's just a totally different atmosphere in the bowl right now. I think about some of the shots that have been made and some of the closeness of the game and how loud it would be at the end and certain of those things, and it's just kind of quiet in there. Not that it hasn't been loud, but it's not been deafening like it has been in the past. So from that standpoint, it's unfortunate for our kids, but at least they're still playing, and we're almost to 2021, and we'll hope that it'll be a turn and things will change a little bit.
If we do remain at 25%, how many from Union County will be able to come?
Ryan and I will be talking. Right now they're limited to two people per participant, so I don't think that'll change. And then if there have been vouchers left over, we've opened those up at the gate, and it's just first comes, first serve at that time. I know our kids have all got their 2 vouchers for Wednesday for sure, and if we go to orange, we'll try to get them the 2 additional vouchers that they get. And hopefully Ryan has something put in place. I'll talk with him tomorrow to make sure he's got what he's going to give out to his kids, and then we'll run from there. So it'll be different, but that's just the rules we got to play with right now.
Pretty good. Were we at about our 25% capacity on Friday night? It looked like.
No, I'd say we're still a couple hundred to 300 short, just based on what I thought was left in the ticket box of vouchers that we did not give out. So there's always a little bit of room for a few more. So hopefully we'll get that. We'll get that on Wednesday at home if we get to stay in the orange. So,
when you get the word regarding tickets, you'll put it on the website and.
Yeah, we'll put it on the ConnersvilleAthletics.com site. We'll also tweet it out, and I'll send it to the media group that I have, and hopefully they'll get it out on the radio. And it may not be out in the paper in time, and unfortunately that's not good for everybody. But it's such a short turnaround this week. We've not had one where we've had a game on the same day that the callers may or may not change. So makes a little bit of difference in how you got to get things done. So, but we'll make it work.
You're saying trying to reschedule some games?
Yeah, we lost the Kokomo tournament for the boys, and we lost the shootout for the girls at Western. Unfortunately, after a lot of deliberation, we had to pull the plug on the Spartan Wrestling Classic. So we got the wrestlers in with 5 other teams at New Pal next Wednesday, or the 29th, be next Tuesday, I believe. No, sorry, be next Wednesday, the 30th. And then girls are going to go down and play North Decatur on the 29th in the afternoon game. Also got the wrestlers in a tournament at January 9th, so we're trying to get some things made up since they lost the Classic, which is a big deal to them, and obviously it's a big financial deal to us because it's a lot of crowd and a lot of gate money that we're going to drop. So
it's the first time in many years the Classic will not be held.
I know it didn't start as 32 teams, but I believe this would have been the 49th one. So called the Classic. So we'll resume it next year, and all the teams that I've talked to and the officials are ready to come back. There might be some changes in teams coming next year, but right now everybody says they want to come back, so we'll see how it goes. But we're doing our best to try to get games made up for those that have been dropped. And
well, that's good.
Unfortunately, we've had some teams quarantined, and we're down a few teams right now. But lost our freshman boys today, so you just never know. So,
what about anything in the works to get a boys' game between now and when they?
We're working with a couple schools, trying to get something on the game. We've had 3 schools interested, so we're we're trying to work that out. Try to finalize it today or tomorrow if we can.
So that would be a week and a half between games if you can't get somebody in.
Yeah, we won't play till the January 6th,
January
9th or
9th or whatever.
Eighth,
Come back on
something like that.
Come back on the 4th, so that first Friday coming back.
Right.
So
You go to
it'd be,
Greensburg.
be a little bit too long a delay for us without a game
I
in there
would-
for either the boys or the girls. Or
Right. What does the coach do if
pray we find something.
that long a space? if
Pray
you,
we find something and get that done. So now we'll find something, whether it's home or on the road, whichever. We'll try to get them something between now and then.
yeah, the kids can get rusty in that length of time, can't they?
Yeah, it's a little bit too long for no matter what. You know, swimming's on a little delay again, and we picked up Centerville again for them, I think, on the 14th of January. So we're trying to make up some of those events that we've lost, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. It's just a trying time, not just for us, because what we have open is the teams that we need to play may not be open because of their schedule. So we'll just knock on wood that we can get as many games in as we can, and things will get better as we move along.
The Greenfield girls are 4-7 on the season, and they meet our girls tomorrow. You said at JVD game at 12, and the varsity at.
Yeah, I think our girls have shown a lot of improvement in the last 3 or 4 games,
Yes.
just in ball movement, execution of the game plan, and keep everybody healthy and keep everybody on the floor at the same time. And we've played fairly well the last 2 or 3 games, so let's hope that can continue and we keep everybody healthy. So,
You seem to be understanding the game now.
well, I think you can see the idea of when I should shoot, when I shouldn't shoot, and where we need to take the ball to. And you know, they mix their defenses up a little bit. They try man to start with, and if that doesn't work, they're not afraid to go to zone. They full court press a little bit, and I think the more they get time with Coach Harder, the better they're going to get. Just nothing wrong with what we used to do. It's just a total different philosophy, just as it was when Carey came in after Coach Klein. So it's just taking a little bit of time for the girls. And I go back to when Howard Renner came. Took a little bit of time to get his style in because he's just like Carey, you know, all man and read the zone and read the defense and try to play all motion offense. And I think that's what she would like to do if possible. So it's just getting those girls to understand and read that stuff. And they've not had to do that for a long time.
And it starts when they get a little young, before they ever get to high school, if they can learn some of that.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a summer in this summer, and we'll get those coaches to be able to work with the younger kids and the youth kids and get some things in place so that they can get that started. So that will only make everybody better as we get going older and they get to the high school age. So,
Lady Spartans had a good game against South Dearborn, 3-point win.
yeah, it was a little tougher than I thought it'd be, but I thought South Dearborn was pretty physical for the most part, and we didn't fold and we didn't tuck our tails when we got behind a little bit, and we kept coming back, and you know, it was all tied, and Paige got the breakaway and got the 3-point, and then we Elise stepped up into those 2 free throws at the end to take it back from a 1-point back up to a 3-point, and at least guaranteed a tie if they threw the last one in. So you just never know.
It's a sign of a good team when they fight back like that.
Yeah, and it's been a while since they've been in that position, so it's a learned behavior. So when they know it's close, they know they can close it out and continue that path, we hope. And we'll have some tough teams down the stretch. You know, East Central's not going to be a slouch. They're always big and strong, and Batesville will be a good contest when we play them. So Rushville's coming, and they've been pretty dominant. And we got New Pal coming back, and so we got some big tests coming down the road.
The Union County girls are doing pretty well too, I think.
Yeah, I think they've only lost 2, and they were solid when we played them in the scrimmage, and hopefully we've learned a lot from that time we played them in the scrimmage.
To point out earlier, that'll be their first opponent when school resumes and basketball resumes in January. So.
Well, hard to think we're talking January already.
Well, you look at the girls; they've only got 7 games left.
Yeah, January's it for them. The tournament starts the first week of February, so we'll be headed down south this year. So. I believe it's at Lawrenceburg this year.
Okay.
The tournament?
Yeah,
I thought it was at Rushville.
Well, it could be. Where did we go last year?
I believe the sectional that
I think we went to Lawrenceburg last year.
That's what it is. I might have it backwards. I
got
knew
them
it was
back.
Rushville and Lawrenceburg, so we are probably over at Rushville this year if we went to Lawrenceburg last year. Oh, yeah, we got beat I was down there.
Yeah.
But,
Does it rotate among several schools?
well, we'll meet in April again and
Okay.
review where it's going to be for the next 2 years, assuming that we're still in Class 3A.
Right.
When will that be announced?
Towards the end of April, so 1st of May, so somewhere in there. So once that's done, then the schools that are in the sectionals are proposed sectionals will meet to see who's going to host. So.
Do you anticipate us? Well, I know we're the second largest in 3A. It doesn't take a lot to change that.
No, I think a lot of that just depends on how many new people might have come in the bottom over the last 3 years, and then those lines, because the number of teams in the IHSA get longer. When you cut those into fourths, your lines get bigger. So you just never know. It won't take much to make us go up or keep us the same. So it might be 10 kids. You never know.
I'm just going to put it out there for our viewers that I hope we go back to 4A.
Well, as I've said, we are where we are.
It's just my, not to take anything away from 3A, but I like being in 4A.
Yeah, a lot of people have that idea. So, as I said, we'll play wherever they put us, and we'll come with the best weapons we have, and
that's not
give
to
us
say
our best shot.
If we won a state championship in 3A, I wouldn't give away the trophy.
But you just never know.
You consider 4A comparable to when there was no class basketball?
Yeah. It is, and there's such a big difference. We would be at the bottom of 4A to the top of 4A is much greater than there is from the top of 3A all the way down to the bottom of 1A.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you can do well in a 4A tournament at the bottom, it's kind of like David and Goliath, like it used to be.
Yes.
So, except we would be the David this time.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Time will tell. And the boys tomorrow, 4-2. Greenfield's record right now, and I know Gary and the kids are anxious to bounce back.
Well, I would think after the way they performed, at least in the first 3 quarters, they're excited they don't have to wait a week to get a game in. But, we'll see how things go and progress. And I'm
After
sure
a game
Gary's
like
got
that,
it in
it's
there.
important to have one as soon as possible to...
Well, I think sometimes if you have a couple like that, you might need a little time off to practice. But I think it's important that they get in and go back out and perform like they can perform. And I thought we saw a better glimpse of that in the fourth quarter than we did in the first 3. And we ran the offense well in the first 3. We couldn't put it in the ocean. Didn't matter what we shot, it didn't go in, and everything they threw up went in. And then
That's right, and that makes it...
Rims seem tight there, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. It seemed to go in. They got a couple really soft rolls in the first one that hit kind of clanky hard and dropped right in the bucket pretty quick. But,
Channel 3 was at the game on Friday night, and here's some video from the Richmond-Connersville game. Actually, it was Saturday night.
we got to a decent start early, and then we just couldn't buy a bucket. The next 2 quarters, it just didn't come very easily.
No, and like you said, Richmond, everything they threw up went in.
We had 22 points after 3 quarters, and we ended with 43, so we scored 21 in the fourth.
Well, I thought we were coming back there when we were down 3 points. And then they got a couple quick baskets and pulled out more, 1 by 10.
We made some mental errors. Turned the ball over a little bit with non-pressured here and there a couple times.
Turned it over a little more than we have been turning it over. It wasn't terrible, but just in a game like that, it just seems to magnify.
Yeah, 6 minutes go in the quarter, we're down 16, and we get it back to 2. So we have our opportunities with the ball in our hand, and just couldn't get that bucket that I thought if we could get ahead of them, might just kind of let them fold a little bit once they saw the big lead go away. But
it's hard to play from behind in every sport, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just difficult because you're working so hard to get back into the game, and then when you get there, sometimes you just kind of lose that oomph when you get a chance to be at the top. As we can see, we got it down to 7 here in just about 3 or 4 minutes worth of playing time, and now we've got it to 5. And had the chance to get it the lead, and just never got the bucket that we needed. And then they made their free throws down the end, which helped.
New look at Richmond with the new bleachers.
New bleachers, new lights.
Certainly brighten things up.
New sound system. They're getting ready to put a new floor in. Not sure what it's going to be. Some people want the devil head on the floor because they're not the R's. Some people want to put the bell tower on the floor according to their athletic director. So I told them they could change their name to the Richmond Bells.
I could have some other names too to go along with that.
Everything is full circle sometimes. There are a lot of people who don't want the Red Devil head on the floor, so connotations or whatever, according to their athletic director. So, well, it'd be interesting to see what they put. Someone thought they might put a rose on there for Rose City, so I don't know. So
Well, we'll see when they color.
We'll see when it goes on the floor what it looks like. So,
are they planning like Newcastle's floor, which is sort of unusual?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He didn't indicate that.
That's
He
good.
said it will have some of the stain on it, different
Just
color, texture,
a
tone.
little unusual at Newcastle.
The old parquet floor?
Yes.
Maybe they thought they were the green of the Boston Celtics. I don't know.
It's
It's a different pattern. It's a unique. It's a unique floor. So it's better than the old tartan floor that they used to have in there
It is better
originally.
than that, but it bounces.
Well, you can hear it bounce.
When I'm sitting there at long press row and players run by,
It is a little bouncy. If you remember, when they
bouncy.
put that in, it had green, and the lane was painted green. But there was so much given the floor that it kept flaking off and busting off, so they took
Is that right?
They took it out. It is really bouncy. It's pretty springy. So
Let's look at the records of area girls basketball teams. Union County is 7-2. They lost at Tri, 48-35. They're home with Franklin County on Monday. Richmond is 5-3, 161-19 at Indianapolis Tech. Next game, January the 8th at Marion. Rushville is 6-5, lost to Lawrenceburg, 50-38. Tuesday at North Decatur. Franklin County 4-7, lost at Batesville, 46-45 in overtime. Monday at Union County. Centerville is 1-7, lost 56-11 to Hagerstown. Home Monday with Westdale. Cambridge City is 2-7. They lost to Union City, 82-23. Tuesday at Eastern Hancock. Boys area teams, Cambridge City is 2-4. They lost to Eastern Hancock, 72-64. Meets Knightstown at home Wednesday. Rushville is 0-4, lost 63-51 at Franklin County. Plays next December 29th in Lagodi Turney. Franklin County is 2-3. They lost 66-63 to South Ripley at Indianapolis Cena December 28th. Centerville is 1-3. They lost 51-45 in overtime against Hagerstown. Wednesday, home with Eastern Hancock. Richmond is 2-3, won 49-39 over the Spartans. Saturday, next game, January the 8th at Newcastle. Union County is 1-2, won 51-39 over Knightstown. Play Morristown Tuesday at Spartan Bowl on Wednesday. In the area, a lot of teams that the girls have yet to play have winning records.
yeah, I don't know if it's just the way it is. You know, everything seems to be cyclic, so it depends on the
Yes.
opponents that they're playing.
Yes.
Well, I know Tri's got a nice team in Union County, so they're in the TEC. Those teams around with Centerville and Cambridge City's gonna. There's probably a couple losses in their belt to start with. So
Where is Tri High School?
Strawn, Indiana, just off of 40.
Okay.
What is it? 103. Turn north on 103.
I think it's 103, just north of
Between
Strong.
40 and Newcastle.
Okay.
So,
We see them, they must have pretty good teams because we see them kind of often in the win column.
yeah, I think their coach has done a good job with them. I'll draw a blank on his name, but his daughter was also helping coach, and she was a pretty good player. So they've had some solid teams in the last couple of years.
Well, it's an interesting season, but one never knows. Sam, didn't Rushville have several postponements?
Yeah, they have, and haven't been able to play. I don't know when they'll get to make those up. Of course, we were able to go over there and take care of business. But the boys team, the girls are still playing, but the boys team for the last couple of weeks have been shut down, as I recall. Kevin Snyder, who does radio for them in Rushville, had put out a thing that the girls were going to be able to play, but the boys weren't. And the community, the coaches are very disappointed, which we would be too.
Certainly.
Right in the, just barely get started and then have to pull back sometime in January where they're going to be able to play again.
Yeah, as we mentioned, they have on December 29th, they go to Lagodi for a tourney. At least they're scheduled for that right now.
Scheduled right now.
Right. So, you want to talk about spring sports for a minute?
We can. Getting ready to start. No, the teams are putting in their request for practice time in the off season, so we're working on space for them over Christmas break to make sure they're lined up when they come back to have some. They're in their limited contact time, so they'll have some things they can do through February. So we're working on finding the right space and possibly moving around a few practices to accumulate or accommodate some of our spring sports. I know baseball and softball and track's already talked to me, and volleyball has been working out for a couple weeks and won't be long.
They got to be anxious to get going since their seasons were canceled last year.
Well, I think so.
Season.
I think there's a lot of kids who would have got some playing time that now have to learn again because they haven't played for a year. And I know some of them have played travel ball in the summertime, but that's still not like playing for your high school team and competing for a conference championship or a sectional title. So to me, that's a little different than playing in a tournament and winning a weekend tournament. So
and different coaches and different.
I think just a different philosophy of what sports is about compared to what travel sports is about. And good, better, and different. There's a place for them, but sometimes they're the snake with no head that just does whatever they want to do. So I used to do that with AAU basketball. I think there was just way too much going on, and I think basketball's curtailed a little bit, but now it seems to be softball and baseball have become the new sport that seems to be playing game after game after game, season after season after season.
You think kids get burned out?
Well, I think some of them do. You hear coaches talk and say, well, they love it. Well, they love it because you keep scheduling it. They love it at 22 and not 75. So,
and maybe mom and dad love it more than the kids.
Well, I think for
sometimes.
some they do, and then you got to think there's a major expense when you get into there. I mean,
Yeah.
certain places you got to stay at certain hotels, and there's a different cost, and they spread your games out enough that you got to be there for 4 or 5 days, and makes it different in the pocketbook if you're doing that every weekend. So unless somebody's paying the bill for you, so it's not something that's simple and you can't just jump into. There's a big expense to that. So. And we can play for our high school teams in the summertime and have a lot less expense and get just as many games and be at home every night. So maybe our kids will start filtering into that now in the summertime when we get back out and put our teams out there. So
Used to have American Legion baseball here that a lot of the kids would play. I guess that's. I
don't hear about that
don't
too
hear
much.
about that anymore.
No, not so much anymore. So it's all about travel. It's all about going to play in some tournament in Kentucky or Florida or Las Vegas or wherever they're
Westfield
going.
making money.
Grand Park makes a lot of money in the summertime. I guarantee that, with 50-some baseball and softball diamonds and however many lacrosse fields they have, and soccer fields go on top of that. So, and an indoor facility. So I'm sure they're making some money up there.
So if the virus continues, that can hamper spring sports like it has basketball.
Yeah, I would hope that being outdoors, we'd have a little bit better
Yes.
chance of social distancing and being outside makes it a little bit different, just like it did in the fall when we really just had the one indoor sport with volleyball. So with soccer, we didn't have much limitations. Of course, we never really get a lot of people at soccer
Yes.
anyway, but they have the ability to spread out and space themselves out along the sidelines where they're in their own little pods. Whether they do that or not is, I won't say yes or no, but they have the opportunity to get where we can get them spaced out a little bit.
What's important for fans to be in attendance? Because
Well, I think it's important that they follow the guidelines.
yes,
We've lost most of our teams because of adults, not because of our kids. And whether that's a contact trace from home or catch it from somebody at the house or they're out in the public or wherever it is, you can't always help that. But if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, wearing our mask when we're supposed to be, it's not necessary for you. It's to help prevent the spread to other people. And I don't like to wear them as much as the next person doesn't like to wear them, but I know when I'm out and about, I have to put those on when
Yes.
I'm going in places. And most part at the games, we've done a pretty good job of wearing our mask, and it seems to be that our opponents have done just a little bit better job than ours have done, but we're better than I thought we might be, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. And obviously, been in the bowl, I don't know if it helps, but we got everybody at least 3 rows from the floor, so they're not close to our table workers and our kids.
yes.
Our kids are supposed to be wearing their mask, and we had a little conversation with a couple of coaches this week about making sure you have your mask on with their teams, and hopefully that'll just continue to get better. But we as adults have to do our due diligence, and because then our kids will follow our lead and do what they're supposed to be doing. So hopefully that'll continue.
How do you determine, how's the contract tracing work? The team or an individual could maybe not be able to play and not test positive, but they've been around somebody? Is that how?
Well, yeah. I mean, I won't go in all of it because I don't do the tracing, but from what I know, it's a cumulative amount of 15 minutes over a 24 to 48 hour period. So let's say that I'm positive and you guys are sitting next to me, you're going to get traced out because if I'm positive, you may have symptoms and you've been inside that. If it's more than 15 minutes with inside of 6 feet over a 24 to 48 hour period, so then it makes a little difference. And masks are irrelevant in that situation. So.
But how do you know? I mean, that's...
Well, the problem is when you can't say you haven't been, then you have to assume that you were. So that's why it's important that we try to get our kids to space out, and we try to. But it's not always possible.
System too, isn't it?
Well, I think most people that are honest will find they'll get caught. It's the ones who don't want to be honest that cause the problems for the other ones. And you take a basketball game for a minute. You may say you're never within 6 feet for 15 minutes, but you're in the locker room with them. You're in the huddle before the game starts. You're in the huddle after the first quarter. You're in the huddle at timeout. So that cumulative time is going to gather. If you pull them over to the side and talk to them for 35 seconds to a minute. So, it's when you can't say you aren't 15 minutes safely in that distance, because then you got to err on the side of safety. So, ride a bus together. Do they have your mask on? Do you not have your mask on? Which masks are, like I said, are irrelevant when it comes to contact tracing. So, we've lost a lot of kids as students because of contact tracing that have done the right things according to the rules, but it doesn't always hold water. So, I mean, the rules are the rules, and that's what and everybody gets mad at us and they get upset because of them, but it's not the rules we made, it's the rules we have given and that they have to go by. So
it's just if masks are effective, then why do masks not count in certain situations? It's
another subject.
I don't understand the science.
So, I don't either, but I just follow what they tell us.
I know you're enforcing the mask before they can enter, but I don't see much social distancing.
Well, you can sit with your family pods, so you're allowed to sit with inside your group. And
oh, okay.
So whether everybody sitting next to each other is a family pod, I don't know. But,
that's true too.
We don't have a student section, and they're not sitting right on top of each other, but and most of the people in there still have their mask on. I won't say that everybody in our events or everybody at the away events has their mask on.
Yes, I see many with masks
I would say the majority are trying to do the right thing. But it doesn't take more than one or two to cause us some problems. Or if you think you're sick and you think you got symptoms, don't come. Watch it on Channel 3, listen to it on the radio or whatever, and we'll tell them the same. If you had a test and you don't have your results back, don't show up until you know your results and keep everybody away. That way, if you are positive, you're not infecting other people and causing other people to lose part of their time and days. So,
and I suppose following the holidays, there's the worry of what?
A big worry, because you're going to be with your family, and we all understand that. But that's also a chance that you could spread it a little bit more coming back that first 2 weeks after the Christmas. Then who knows what may happen. So it's important that we try to do the best we can to social distance and keep our gatherings to our family members. And, that's a change of pace as well.
Interesting times. Again, a reminder of this week the Spartans are in Greenfield tomorrow, home to Union County on Wednesday night.
Correct.
You'll have ticket information
as soon as I get it.
The Union County game as soon as you get it. Hopefully, we're in orange right now.
Let's hope we stay.
Okay, yes.
So I know we went up a little bit last week, so let's hope that we didn't go up any this week. So
if we go red, many problems.
Red makes it easy on me as far as who's getting in, but on vouchers, because those are already given to the correct people. So if we go red, it's just 2 tickets per player, per manager, per coach, per cheerleader, etc. So,
Brendan, as always, thanks a lot for bringing us up to date on what's happening in local sports. We appreciate it.
Well, I'm always happy to be here because it's all about the kids and Connersville athletics. That's all that matters, that we can continue forward and keep playing.
Spartans get a couple wins tomorrow at Greenfield, and
we get 4 wins tomorrow. It'll be just as good a day as it was the other night with 4 wins against South Dearborn. So that's a great day.
Right. And Saturday, Union County comes to town on a delayed season opener, but we'll welcome the Patriots, and it should be a couple of nice sports days for CHS.
Let's hope so.
Thanks, everybody, for watching with us, and I know Brent joins us on wishing you all a Merry, Merry Christmas. Good night.